Okay, so Trump very effectively, I discussed this yesterday on the show, drops this video of Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. It's AI altered with Hakeem Jeffries. A sombrero comes down on his head. A Mexican mustache appears on his face. And then they have Chuck Schumer in an AI voice saying, we have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Okay, so Trump posts this on Monday night. It's got over 20 million views. I mean, way to call attention to a shutdown and who you say is to blame. Like, very effective. It went so viral because it was so different from anything any president has ever done for all sorts of reasons. And then you had the left meltdown over it, calling more attention. So it was a very effective, smart move by Trump. It was, of course, his brand of humor, but it also was an effective political move, I think, because so much attention got called to it. Then last night, Trump doubled down by putting a new spin on it. And here that is in SOT 3.
Bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
And the hat comes down and the mustache comes on, but now there's a mariachi band behind, all wearing sombreros, and they're all Donald Trump playing the guitar, whatever. Behind him, it's very funny. And if Democrats were smart, they would laugh at themselves or roll their eyes at Trump and maybe come up with their own response. I'm sorry, but this is the funniest thing I've done with Trump. He's playing the trumpet, playing the guitar, doing all the instruments. Trump in a sombrero. I find it very funny. But that they're not smart.
Everybody finds it funny. That's the whole thing. I think one of the most clever things Trump did was, and to this day I laugh about this when I think about this, is when that whole thing with Elizabeth Warren emerged about how she faked being a Native American. He started calling her Pocahontas. Yes. Which, it's just like the perfect name to call somebody who's this like white lady who tried to be a Native American. And I remember even one time he had these like elders from some like Cherokee tribe in the Oval Office where he was like honoring Native American Day or something. And he was like, to them, he was saying, and we have a woman who's in Congress. We call her Pocahontas. And every time he would do it, the Democrats and the media would be like, he's a racist. He's mocking Native Americans. When in reality, he was always mocking Elizabeth Warren for pretending to be Native American. He was never mocking Native Americans themselves. And the more angry they got, the funnier it became. This is so basic. Like, how do you not know this? It's like if you go on the internet and somebody's mocking you, the worst thing you can do, the best thing you can do for them is get up on your high horse and say, how dare you? Like, everybody knows this. This is so basic. And so, I don't know, they've been doing this for 8 years. They like play right into Trump's hands so perfectly. And, you can make an argument like, yeah, the president should be above it, but that's no longer our politics. That's the politics that Trump broke. I don't think people like that in our politics, that everybody has to pretend to be one thing, but in reality is something else. And this is the kind of thing people laugh at over the water coolers, even if they know that they're not supposed to. And it is a huge, powerful weapon that Trump has that Democrats still, he's going to go around and be like, this is racist. This is bigotry. How dare. I mean, it makes it funnier, honestly.
Yes.
And that's why they double down on it.
No one's moved by that. And someone should tell that to Teresa Fernandez, a representative Dem from New Mexico. Here she is in SOT 5.
That's right. And then what does that shameful man do? After a meeting where you're supposed to be working out details, where you're supposed to be negotiating a deal, you post something that draws a sombrero and a mustache?
Yes, that's the move. Correct. Oh, the horror. You're supposed to be working? I mean, truly, who responds to that school marmy scolding, Glenn?
I mean, you feel like you're in 8th grade and somebody's just like, you did a little harmless joke and now somebody's standing over you saying, this is inappropriate. But I do want to say, I think there's something a little bit deeper going on here, which is that, one of the things that is odd about it is Hakeem Jeffries is actually not Latino. He's black.
Right.
And I remember that's the funny part about it.
Funny.
And this is what. Right, it would be one thing if it were like actually a Latino person and then people would be like, I don't know, that seems kind of racist. But the fact that he's not even Latino, And I remember this is one of the other funniest things I've ever seen was remember that time when Trump went before that Black Association of Journalists to be interviewed in the height of the campaign. And he just threw that thing out there where he's like, oh, Kamala's Black? I never really even knew she was Black. And I remember talking to people
she's Black now.
Yeah. And then what happened was CNN went to like a Black barbershop, which is where like CNN thinks all the real Black people congregate. That's how they show their authenticity. They go to the Black barbershop in Philadelphia. And there were like these 12 Black guys sitting around in the barbershop. And the CNN correspondent went in and said, yesterday, Trump said that Kamala is not really Black. Do you think she's Black? And of course, they were expecting her to say, them all to say like, yeah, of course she's Black. And they all kind of looked at each other. And one of them finally was like, I don't know, is she? And then a couple of them were like, I don't think so.
Is she Indian?
This is a major, this is a major split in the this is a major problem with the Democratic Party is they're like, look, we have all these Black people. We have Kamala Harris and Hakeem Jeffries. These are people who look like they just came out of boardrooms of like Aetna or, like some kind of like, bureaucratic general council meeting. These are not people who identify, who seem like to resonate with the kind of Black voter that Trump has had success in. And I think that's part of it too, is kind of like blurring the lines of what Hakeem Jeffries really is, because at the end of the day, he's really just like a swamp creature who's most comfortable with DC lobbyists and fundraisers and not with the people he purports to represent.
A board meeting for Aetna.
That's how I always thought of Kamala Harris, like coming out like in her suit, like being like, well, we've adopted some very important protocols for insurance claims, and that's who the Democratic Party keeps putting forward. And Hakeem Jeffries is very much like that.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so funny. Oh, this whole thing is so funny. Okay, here's Hakeem Jeffries, fresh out of healthcare reform, reacting to Trump's AI video. Here it is up for.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Okay. Again, it's the skinny kid on the playground. And by the way, you'd be better off doing that, Hakeem, without the whoo, yeah, whoo, and the little mild milquetoast white lady with the glasses behind you in the suit shaking her head mildly. Yes, yes, go Hakeem.
Also, it took like 2 or 3 days for him to come up with that. Like this video first emerged, a couple days ago. Like if that were really his visceral reaction, like that MFer, I'm going to go down to the Oval Office, let him say that to my face. Maybe that would be a little convincing. But this was something like that they had meetings about, that they script. Yeah, but that's not who he is. And that's the problem, right? Like if he were that, and he would have reacted that way immediately, and maybe that would have been more effective. But this was something that happened after a couple of days of them like sitting in planning strategy meetings, saying like, oh, let's have Hakeem get up to the microphone with Maxine Waters behind him making like noises and pretend that you're now not offended anymore, but ready to fight over it. It just comes off as so inauthentic, really so pathetic. And I'm sure Trump's going to put a sombrero on his head when later today, when they show video of Hakeem saying that.
Yes. And by the way, I just feel like Hakeem, the whole thing is empty, because of course Trump would say that to his face. Trump says whatever the hell he wants, right to the face of whoever is sitting there right in front of him. I mean, like, think of what he's been saying to world leaders just over the past couple of months. He just doesn't care. Like the notion that Trump is too afraid of Hakeem Jeffries to mock him in person. Okay, try that on somebody else.